And I invite you to join me in welcoming Anna Evans to the platform.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just feel so blessed to be able to be here and share with you. I get so excited every time I'm invited. I spend weeks trying to decide which recipe I want to give you or teach, and it's so hard because I have so many really, really good ones. So I hope I made a good choice today. I was debating, I almost brought the macaroni salad that I created a sauce that's made out of cannelli beans, and that's really good, but then I thought, well, macaroni salad's more summer and picnics and that. So the sauce I'm gonna teach you in this stroganoff casserole, and like Pastor said, we've been eating this way for about 10 years, and we started eating this way when we came to the church. Some of you have heard my story before. We just feel incredible. It changed our lives. We have so much energy. We have no health problems, no medication. I can do things I couldn't do 10 years ago. And I'm just so blessed and grateful that I learned about this program and how to eat healthy and feel good, and as you age, how to feel younger and younger and have more energy. It's just fabulous. But this sauce is actually my Alfredo sauce. And a few years ago, one of the first classes I taught, I gave you that recipe. And I did my spiralizer with the zucchini raw noodles to put the sauce on. But I wanted to give it to you again in case you knew and you didn't get it. And I changed it up, and I change it up all the time. So for the stroganoff, I added garlic powder, and I add in the Vitamix the container of Tofutti sour cream to make it into my stroganoff casserole. But I use it a lot of different ways. This year, for years we had a tradition where we had Christmas potatoes that I made, and it was requested every Christmas morning. And when we first went plant-based, I tried portobello mushroom soup, and it was okay, but it wasn't great. So this year I did the Alfredo sauce with the Christmas potatoes, and it was killer. Everybody loved it. Now that recipe, you just in a big bowl buy a big bag of the cubed potatoes and you throw it in there, but you put the sour cream in the potatoes instead of the sauce and stir it, and you put a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper. That's why it's a Christmas potato. And then you put it in the dish and put the Alfredo sauce on top, which the original recipe years ago that I used to make before we changed our eating, I'm talking really fast because I don't have much time. So sorry if I'm going too fast. So the original recipe was 1 can of cream of mushroom soup and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. But this sauce worked really good on that. This sauce, our other tradition has always been for Easter dinner, was always scalloped potatoes and ham. So we had to find a different way to eat. So this sauce works really good for scalloped potatoes, to just layer the potatoes, some onions, more potatoes, onions, and then you pour the sauce over top and bake it. And one of the cooking classes a couple times back, I don't know if you're here today because I don't really remember who it was, but somebody came up and challenged me to make a tofu recipe that tasted like ham. So anytime I get a challenge, that's all I need. And I go in the kitchen like a mad scientist, and I came up with a pretty darn good one. Maybe next time I'll do that one. But anyway, so I'm gonna get started on the sauce, but also too, I don't know if you guys have seen these from Trader Joe's, but you can buy now the carrots already spiralized in the freezer section, and you can also get the zucchini. So if you're like a lot of people that are really rushed and don't have time, and you're working all the time, and you come in and you need quick, you don't have time to spiralize your own, you can buy these and just throw the sauce right on top of them for dinner. So that's another option for you. I like to make things that are quick and easy. Also too, I wanted to mention that when I make my pot pies with the pie crust, that you can find vegan pie crust already made, I don't always have time to steam my potatoes and carrots and all that from scratch. Just keep a bag of frozen vegetables to pour in there. And I teach a really quick, easy gravy that's delicious. But a lot of the people I meet and my own sisters don't cook and they don't have time. And so they wanted something that was faster. So if you buy the Amy's lentil soup, all you do is throw it in your Vitamix, your blender, blend it up, it makes a killer gravy. So you can have a pot pie made in the oven in 10 minutes. You just throw in the crust your gravy that you made in the Vitamix with your frozen vegetables and bake it. And there you've got a delicious pot pie. So that's another idea I wanted to pass on to you. And this is another one that I just started and got the idea for a couple weeks ago. I have several files for my recipes, but what I decided to do was make one that is just for quick meals. So this one, I'm just gonna put those meals like the one I just told you about. I'm just gonna put those in this file so when, something gets in your way, you have a dinner planned, you're gonna cook something happens to your day and you can't get it done and you need a 10-minute meal, 15-minute meal, I'll just go to this box. So that's another great idea that you could do. So I wanted to share that with you. And we'll get started here. So the noodles in this stroganoff, I use the linguine noodles instead of stroganoff because it's really hard to find stroganoff noodles that don't have eggs in them. So linguine works fine. And what I like to do when I'm gonna cook the noodles is break them in thirds so that it scoops out of your pan easier and it's easier for people to eat. If you're having company over or something, they don't have these big noodles. Now I found the Ezekiel sprouted ones at Whole Foods, but I haven't tried them yet, but I just wanted to show them to you. They actually will be healthier, but I don't know, sometimes healthy stuff tastes like cardboard, so I can't say I haven't tried these yet, and they're at Whole Foods, which we call whole paycheck, I know, so these were $4.99. So they are more expensive, but we want to spend our money on groceries and not medications, right? So if you run into these and you want to try them, that's another idea for you. Okay, so, oh yeah, I've got lots of ideas for you. Have you guys tried the no chicken broth? It's low sodium and it's vegan. It says vegetarian, but it is vegan, and it's by Imagine. So it's really good. Now, the original recipe for the Alfredo was just vegetarian broth, but in this stroganoff, I'm going to use the no chicken. So it calls for 3 cups, which I've been using this a lot. It's really good. I get this at Sprouts or Whole Foods. I haven't seen it yet at Ralph's, but they might end up getting it. They're sometimes a little slow catching on to things. Okay, so it's 3 cups. Got this? I buy it at Sprouts usually because I'm over right near Sprouts by Galleria, but sometimes I have gotten it at Whole Foods at Rolling Hills Plaza too. So I stock up on it. When I was there yesterday, I didn't really need any more, but they only had 1 in the case, so I bought it. So I'm always afraid I'm gonna run out, so I always keep all these extra things. Okay, so there we have our 3 cups of broth. I guess I better use my glasses for this too. So I already measured out things to make it fast because I know I wouldn't have a lot of time. So 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice. Now again, you can cut your lemons, you know that, or you can just keep a lemon juice in the refrigerator for when you need something fast. And then you're going to use the raw unsalted cashews, which I buy at Trader Joe's. And I already soaked these and drained them at home to make it faster. And you know that you can soak them overnight, or again, if you forgot to soak them and you're ready to make something, just put some hot water, boil some water, pour it on there, and that kind of speeds it up. And according to how good your blender is, sometimes you can get by without soaking if you have a Vitamix or something, like that. So we got the cashews, we got the lemon juice, and then we're gonna put a 1/2 teaspoon sea salt, a 1/2 teaspoon pepper, and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Little seasoning. Is it what? Uh-huh. I think so, isn't it? Yeah, 2 teaspoons. Doubt myself. That's all on your recipe there. Yeah. So, like I say, we've been eating this way for a long time, and I was cracking up the other day because I remembered when I first started coming to these classes in this room, and we were real small, and we were just transitioning. Susan had given us a quick recipe for a can of black beans on the stove with some salsa, and slice the tuba polenta that you get at Trader Joe's, bake that, and then just put the black beans and salsa on top. And I think we ate that every single week because I didn't know what to do or how to do any of it. And my poor husband went along with me taking these classes and coming home and saying, we're gonna give up meat. And then a year later, we're gonna give up dairy. And that's how we were eating, and we've come such a long way. So don't get discouraged because you can't just do it overnight. It's a slow transition. And I've just gotten to where now I create my own recipes, and I love doing it, and everything tastes so much better. I always love to cook, but it's way better than the meat dishes and all of that. It just is just really good. Okay, so now we need the nutritional yeast, which is a 1/2 cup. This is the nutritional yeast, the Bragg's, that I have always used, because to me it tastes better. I've tried Trader Joe's and other ones, and I splurge on things like this because I use it so much in my cooking. But I just ordered this one, and it was kind of expensive. I ordered it on Amazon, and I haven't tried it yet. I was afraid to try it in your food today because I'm not sure how it is. But she's giving me a thumbs up, good. Everybody on Facebook posts for vegan, things, we're talking about how great this is. So I did get this, and it gets real high ratings. But this is the one that will be in your food today. It's nutritional yeast. Oh, this one, what's the name of it? Let's see, what is it called? Ancient Egyptian Superfood. Okay. All right, so we got that. Now what we're gonna do is that's everything, but we're gonna wait to add this because I wanna make sure all of the spices and nutritional yeast and everything get mixed in there really good first. Now, if you have a good blender like this, you can whip this stuff up really quick. If not, then you just need to do it a little longer. And then after that, then I will add the Tofutti sour cream. Now, I have a recipe, and I think I gave this to you guys, I'm pretty sure I did too, before, for making your sour cream. So if you've transitioned and you are eating really, really healthy, where you don't want any oil, which there's a little bit of oil in this Tofutti sour cream, then see me after and I'll give you this recipe how you can make your own sour cream out of cashews. So that would just be one more step that you would need to do to put it in your sauce, make it, and then add it. But I'm just gonna add this today. I'm gonna take this out and just go like this. They make other brands of vegan sour cream, I know, but for some reason, we prefer this one. And it's all just different. Everybody likes different taste, and you just have to gear it to what you and your family like, but that's what we prefer. So then you're gonna add the sour cream and blend that up. I try to buy most of my stuff at Trader Joe's because they're so reasonably priced, but sometimes there's a few things I can't get and I have to, like the Tofutti sour cream I get at the Sprouts or the Whole Foods. So sometimes I have to, do that. I didn't think of bringing something to put all these messy things in. There we go. Okay, so it's really easy at home. What I did, you'll just follow your noodle package directions, how to cook your noodles. So I already pre-cooked things to make it faster. So you're gonna cook your noodles, and then I just put a layer of noodles on the bottom. You're gonna love this dish because it's so quick and easy. While your noodles are steaming, cooking, you're going to saute an onion and some mushrooms. And then you're going to layer noodles, layer the mushroom onion mix, and I use a little bit of the no chicken broth to saute, but you could use water if you wanted, but just to give the mushrooms and onions a little better taste. And I use these from Trader Joe's, the baby portobello mushrooms, and they're already sliced and washed, and it makes it really quick. But you could use button mushrooms if you wanted, or any mushroom you wanted, but everything that I read is that the baby portobellos are real high in nutrition. They're really good for you. And the Alzheimer's Solution book speaks highly of these too, of all the nutritional value and how good it is for your brain. So these are really nice and reasonably priced at Trader Joe's. Okay, so even my mushrooms here and my onions, again, I'm just using my hands because we're going to go home and eat this. Your food's already made. So I'm just being quick. So usually I'm real picky. Like I'll go real slow so that everybody gets a mushroom like this. But I'm not going to make you guys go through that. So I'm just going to throw it on there for the sake of time. But I like it to be real even. So you're going to just do about half of that. And then you're going to repeat your layer again. Did anybody ever make the baked potato casserole that I taught? Yeah? Did you like it? Was good? That was another fast one. I like to use a lot of noodles and potatoes and things like that because we shouldn't eating this way. I hear so many people say, I'm hungry all the time. I'm like, are you kidding? You can eat and eat and eat this way, you know? So these are real good, and plus my husband does eat a lot too, so I call them fillers, you know? It's like, gotta use a lot of fillers for him. So, and then you're just gonna, again, do that, throw them on there, and then the rest of your mushrooms and onions. Then we're going to just pour the sauce right on top. And then you're going to cover it with foil, and you're going to bake it in the oven. You will love the sauce. It's so fast, it's so easy, and like I said, I use it on lots of things. And every time I have company and make anything with this sauce, people really love it. So you just pour it on top. And that's all that is to the dish. Real quick, real easy. Now we'll see how yours comes out today, because usually when I make this, I do it all at once and bake it and we eat it, or I serve it to the company. But I was making foods for so many people today that I did it ahead of time. Like one day I sauteed my onions and mushrooms, and one day I cooked all the noodles, and then today before I came, I put it all together. So that's another option. If it comes out as good today as it's supposed to, you could do that. You know, if you're having company, you can be all organized and have it done way before that day, that, you know, the holiday or whatever. So that's it. Can you see it? Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. Nice, quick, and easy. Thank you. Maybe you should wait till you try it and then, no. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. So let me get rid of the Vitamix, and the next one will go with the food processor. I hope you guys are hungry or getting hungry. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go out of order here, and we're gonna have dessert next because I need the processor for both things, and it'll be easier to clean the dessert out. Some people tease me and call me the chickpea queen. And that's because I love creating things with chickpeas, because you can do so many desserts and people have no idea. So like these balls that I'm making today, I always test them. I test my recipes out. So I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old neighbor. And when they eat them, trust me, they've had some of my stuff before and went, ew. And then I go, okay, we won't keep that recipe. But then when they go, oh, that's really good, and they like it, then I'm like, and then my husband takes them to work. And the secretaries who bring Starbucks in with all this whipped cream and get burgers and fries, they try it. And then the men he works with who don't eat healthy at all. So when they all like it, then I'm like, okay, that's a good recipe. I know that's a keeper. Okay, so this is my mushroom stroganoff again. Here we go. Okay, so what I did was I drained the chickpeas already and rinsed them. Now the secret with using chickpeas for your desserts or anything you're gonna make, you have to rinse them really well. You don't wanna get that chickpea taste in there. So you drain them and you use your sprayer on your faucet and just make sure that you rinse them real good. So, you were here last time I gave you the peanut butter balls, and I used the maple syrup. Okay, so it's a transition, and we transitioned off of sugar, and I went to maple syrup for a lot of my things. Well now, especially since I'm reading that book, The Alzheimer's Solution, and they're saying even maple syrup is poison, sugar is poison for your brain. So I'm not a date person. I don't like to take dates and eat them. I don't like the taste, and I never did. I was kind of afraid to start experimenting with dates, but I've been trying them and subbing out my maple syrup for my dates, and it's just as good. It really is good when it's mixed in something I like the date taste. Your key is you want to chop the dates real small. That's the secret to get it to blend in there. So we have the can of chickpeas that are rinsed and drained, and these 4 dates, I already chopped them at home, and they're probably gonna be one sticky, globby mess now, because usually I chop them and I put them in as I chop them and not in a big thing like this. But what I do is try to, get them separated like this, so they're not all stuck together. It might not work as good as it does. You see what I mean? So I'm gonna try the best I can here. But if you chop them on the board and then right away put them in here, it works, because I do it all the time. But the thing of it is, you could add more if you wanted it sweeter, or if you've been eating really healthy and you're away from all the sweetness, then put 2 dates in. It's just up to you, Garrett, to your taste. Okay, so you just mainly want to get it like separated in there real good. And then we're going to blend that first before anything else, because we want to mix the dates in there really good. Oh, it would help to plug in, wouldn't it? There we go. And also, too, the other secret when you're doing this kind of stuff is that you have to stop a lot and scrape, what I call scrape it down, just go like that, because it'll stick up on your sides, all the dates. So I'll do that several times until I get it small. It doesn't really work in a Vitamix because it's so powerful. It makes it more like gooier, like some people have done it and it's okay, but it's not the same texture. It just makes it more. And you know, I tell everybody, if you're gonna start eating this way, really get a processor because you're gonna use it a lot. And you don't have to go out and buy a really expensive one. Someone just told me the other day they saw them for $30, a small one. They said at Home Goods, I think. Because I know my sister has, she doesn't have a processor, and she's made some of my cookies and my different recipes, and she brings them over, and I don't recognize them. It's like, that was my recipe? Oh, okay. No, really, they still taste as good, they just don't look the same. They were like a blob, like. Bless their hearts, though. Both of my sisters have eaten the standard American diet, and they've seen us doing this for years, and they probably just the last year finally changed and finally said, well, maybe there's something to it. So that's what you kind of do, is scrape it down a few times, and you can see the dates are all mixed in now, and it's getting real soft. And then you're gonna add the rest of your ingredients, which I just lost my vanilla. Where did it go? Here it is. So I already measured out the vanilla, which is, let's see here, 1 teaspoon. Yep. 1 teaspoon vanilla. We have the dates, we have the beans, and then we need the cup of coconut. Now I brought two kinds of coconut to show you. This kind, coconut shredded, is from Sprouts, and the flake coconut is from Trader Joe's. I've used both. I prefer this one. For some reason, this one just works better. One's a little harder or something, I don't know, but I really prefer the Trader Joe's, works great. So, this vanilla is just Trader Joe's vanilla. Because it's the alcohol-free, so anytime I'm gonna teach here or teach to other people, I use the alcohol-free for people that don't want alcohol in it. Okay, so it's, what did I say it was again? A cup, okay. So there's my cup. Okay, so you're just gonna sprinkle that in. Coconut is really great to use in desserts. It's a great sweetener. I make healthy donuts. I don't give my recipe out for those though, because I sell them. And so each month I try to make a different flavor. So for February, for Valentine's Day, it was chocolate cherry coconut in the donuts. And these are 2 other neighbors that live across the street, and they buy them from me, and the daughter begs if she can take them to school in her lunch for her snack. So that makes me feel honored that the kids like it. And again, that's what I'm gonna do, is scrape it down a little bit, a couple times, because I don't want big chunks of coconut in there. So these things work great. I have 3 of them because I'm always using them to scrape down like that. Okay. Now, if I was doing this at home, I might have scraped it down a couple more times, but I want to go fast. So I'm going to call it and say that's good enough. So I'm sorry if you have nut allergies and you can't eat my stuff today, but this is what I decided to do. I called it Golden Nuggets because what I'm gonna do is take a little pinch of this, and then I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a dessert that when you bit into it, it was like a surprise in there that no one knew was in there? Doesn't that sound fun? I thought so. So I created these. I take it and I just kind of squish it like that, and then I kind of make it flat. Now, do you know how long it took me to make enough of these for you guys? But it's kind of fun because it's like meditation when you're home alone and you're in the kitchen and you're just doing things. So I stick the macadamia nut in the middle, and then you have to kind of squeeze it around the macadamia. So then you have this weird looking thing. I know my daughter said, "Can't you have Dad help you with some of that stuff?" I says, "Do you know what they would look like?" And I'm a perfectionist. I would have had to go back and roll each one and make it perfect. But that's what you do. So you just squeeze it around there and roll it into a ball. And you want to make them kind of small because they're pretty rich when you get the chocolate around them. So you're just going to do that. But the key here is you don't want to dip them in the chocolate right now because they'll fall apart. So you need to refrigerate them till at least an hour. Longer is even better because they'll get real hard and then it's easy to dip them in the chocolate. So I like the Enjoy brand of the vegan chocolate chips. I use the mini ones for this. It depends what I'm making. Sometimes I'll use the big chunks, but I like to use a double broiler to melt my chocolate chips because I don't own a microwave or use one. So I just melt in the double broiler, and then I just take a little spoon, 2 spoons, and dip each one and put it like that. And then you should store them in the refrigerator because they are soft if they're sitting out. Not that they'll go bad, but they just get real soft if you leave them out. And that's it. Golden nuggets. Thank you. It would work as long as you kept it in the refrigerator and then just ate it right away, because if they're going to have a tendency to fall apart, the chocolate kind of holds them together. So yeah, okay, so we have one more for you. And this one, oh, that's right, I have to, hold on here. We got to use the processor again. So I'm not going to wash it or anything. I'm just going to, where did my bowl go? Oh, here it is. No, this one. I thought I was so organized. So I'm going to just go like this and get rid of it and start my next recipe, because this is just going home with us today, and we don't really care if our coleslaw tastes like chickpeas. So since I only have one processor, I hope my husband in his lunch with the coleslaw next week likes chickpea coleslaw. No. So I'm just going to use it again. I get them at a variety of places. Sprouts is real easy for me because it's right there. Ralph's is right there near my house. So Ralph's has them, Sprouts has them, Smart and Final has them. Yeah. So we're going to move on to the coleslaw. This is really, really another easy one. Now today you're going to get the coleslaw, but also broccoli slaw is really, really healthy for you, and it works really great in this too. So, and again, I substituted the dates in this recipe for the maple syrup. So the original recipe, you didn't have to use a processor because maple syrup was in it. So the maple syrup would just stir or whisk with a whisk. So we're going to use the Veganese, and you could just do it in a bowl. If you want to sub out and use maple syrup instead of the 2 dates, you could use a tablespoon of maple syrup. That's how we were originally eating it. And then, like I said, when I wanted to try to switch over, I experimented with the dates in here, and it worked great. But again, the key here is that the dates have to be in little tiny pieces, chopped in little pieces. And you have to really blend it, process it a lot to get the dates mixed in. So that's the difference. So I again would just sprinkle my dates that are chopped real little pieces. And I like to mix these two, the Veganese and the dates, first before I add anything else, so that the dates get mixed in. I am so addicted to this. You guys, I could eat it almost every day. I make it all the time. I just love it. And it's a great way to get your cabbage in, or your broccoli, or Okay, so that's what I will do is process, scrape it down several times, because see, it's gonna get up on the sides. Now, if you doubled this recipe and made more, you wouldn't even have to do this as much because there'd be more in there. What I like to do, my husband really likes this as a salad dressing. So whenever I do make it, sometimes I double it or I triple it, and then I only use part in the coleslaw, and then I keep the rest in the refrigerator for a salad dressing. It will thicken up, and then you could just add a little water to it. So again, if I was doing this at home, I would do this several times until I got my dates really mixed in there good. But I'm gonna call that good, okay? We're gonna pretend everything's good today. Okay, so we have the dates, and now we need the rice vinegar and the Dijon mustard. So it's 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. I get this at Trader Joe's too. It's nice, you can almost get everything you need at Trader Joe's. The veganese, Trader Joe's does have a vegan mayonnaise, like a little one, but it's a small one, and I use it quite a bit in things, so I usually go for the veganese, which is Sprouts or Whole Foods. Oh, Ralph's has it too. Okay, and then it's, let's see, what is it, a teaspoon of mustard, of the Dijon. Now, again, everybody has their different things. Trader Joe's does have Dijon, but I really prefer Annie's Dijon. I just like that better, and that's from Sprouts. But, you know, it's up to you. Everybody likes something different, so just some things I try and I prefer them a different way. That's it. That's all you have to do. The rice vinegar, the Dijon, blend it up several times, scrape your dates down. And you'll see that in this, the dates are staying kind of chunky because I didn't scrape it down a lot, but also too because I chopped them at home and they were like in a glob, but at home, it would have worked better. You'll see in your coleslaw today that it is better. So, and I'm over time, I'm gonna get fired. I gotta hurry here. Okay, so really, that's all there is to that. And then you just, this doesn't make a lot, but I like having small recipes like that. And if you want more, you can double or triple it, because I run into so many people in my cooking classes and stuff that are just single and live alone and don't cook, and they want to learn to eat healthy. So they're always like, that's too much food for me. What could I do with all that food? So even the stroganoff, you can cut that recipe in half and make it in a small dish if you're by yourself. You don't, any recipe you can change it up. So it just makes a little there, and then what I found with this is don't make it real saucy, because after this sits, it like releases water, I think, and tomorrow you'll get in there and it'll be like soup. So I like to leave it more on the dry side, and then tomorrow add more when it gets saucier like that. So then you just stir it, mix it up. You have your lunch made for the week. You can have it for dinner. This is really great on a sandwich, on a veggie sandwich, on the roll or the bread. Put some of this on, and also sometimes you just use this on top and spread it on a sandwich by itself, because I told you I keep it in there for salad dressing. It's real good on bread. So that's it, beautiful. Oh, there I am down there, I just noticed. Coleslaw, thank you. I'll be around in there if you have any questions, and the food was made with a lot of love, so I hope it tastes good and that you like it. Yes? Oh, okay. So real quick, I'll answer that question. When we got into our early 50s, we were getting a lot of joint pain. So when I would sit too long and get stiff, and I was starting to walk like old people walk, and my husband grew up with asthma. He was on a maintenance inhaler every day, and when he was younger, he used to run marathons and run, and he would have to take an inhaler before he ran. He stopped running because when he got in his 50s, his knees were hurting too bad. So when we started eating this way, he said, I'm going to quit taking my maintenance inhaler, and he was fine. And he would also get sick every winter and have to go to the doctor and be put on a breathing machine. He was fine. He said, I'm going to start running again with no inhaler. I said, please take your ID, please. He's been doing that for years. He has never used an inhaler once. He's never been sick again. And he runs far, a lot of miles, and he has no knee problems and no aches and pains. So that was one way that it changed. As far as just feeling good and having energy, I have a few friends that call me, you're the Energized Bunny, because it'll be 10 or 11 o'clock and I'm still like, and my husband will say, will you sit down? No, I've got wash to do, and I'm just, so tons of energy and just feeling really good. Our kids, within 6 months, they were already living out on their own. Within 6 months, started eating this way because they saw the change in us, and they would come for holidays or birthday dinners, and that was all the food they were getting, and they said, that tastes pretty good. They're both real athletic. They've done the ride, the 500-mile bike ride from San Francisco to LA. My daughter's training, she's doing it again in June, and my son is quite large. He likes to lift a lot of weights at the gym. And they do it on a vegan diet. And I've gone back to them and I've said, I'm sorry, the one thing I would change, if I could go back, I would have raised you vegan. And they say, yeah, sure, Mom, you know that was child abuse, the way you fed us. You used to let us have McDonald's. And I'm like, I didn't know better, I'm sorry. So just mainly all around feeling good, no medication, no health problems. It's the way to go. And especially when you can get food that tastes better. Like, I still use my spaghetti recipe. I just took the meat out. Everybody used to always ask for that. I just chopped the portobello mushrooms real small and hide them in there. And I have people that eat the standard American diet come over and have my spaghetti, and they don't know there's no meat in it. You know, chili's the same. A lot of my recipes are the same. I just found ways to substitute it. So I just think that a lot of people get scared off because, like I said, sometimes you have the food and it tastes like cardboard and you're like, I can't eat this for the rest of my life. But if you can have good food and see that it tastes good, you're gonna stick with it. So, thank you.